So you make a giant drink and then you serve them in smaller glasses.
Yeah,
I got you.
shake it. So every time you go to pour one.
Ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting from an undisclosed location somewhere in the greater Boston area, welcome to Bamboozled.boston, the only New England podcast show that combines some of your favorite activities, specifically drinking and music, into an unforgettable, user-friendly experience. So tip up your cup and crank us way up as we offer up the chemistry, history, successes, and failures of some of your favorite alcoholic beverages, still with on-air sampling, live music, and special guest appearances. But wait, there's more. Hang on, because we are diving headfirst into the world of music and pop culture as it relates to the finer things about alcohol, its origins, proper way to consume, all rolled up into one very convenient podcast. And you know what? We are kind of like a fruit roll-up, easy to carry, but way sexier. Here's to inform, to inspire, and to imbibe are your hosts, Mike Grady and Sean Cochran.
Mike, you didn't leave me anything to say. You did it all. All right, thank you, everybody. Good night. Wow, that was quite the mouthful. Holy Toledo.
Why, thank you.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. So here we are, 2021. Thank God. Okay.
Amen.
So that said, 21 didn't start out so hot either, but
I hold my beer.
So far it has not started out so good.
No.
It can only go up from here.
It can only go up from here. I mean,
agree.
I hope so.
Yes.
I honestly hope so. So we'll see how that goes. But new segments, new show. We're gonna change a few things here. No, we're not. Who am I kidding? It's going to be the same damn shit, you know. But so tonight's theme. Did you include our theme? And you didn't include the theme on this.
No, I did not. I have not said anything except for our brand spanking new opening.
Which I love it. It's you know. You need a breath. You need a glass of water. You're going to be okay. That was quite, like I said, that was
fine.
You want to lay down for a little bit?
They want to lay down for a little bit. So we get safety tip. We're going to bring a music segment into the show.
Oh, absolutely.
There's some other things that are going to happen, of course, but I think, Mike, what we should do, because tonight's theme is Hawaii. Okay, let's get right to the explanation of what's going on here.
Okay, you got it, and here we go. Booze, the first frontier. These are the voyages of Bamboozled.boston. Booze date, Wednesday, January 7th, 2021. Join us as we explore all types of alcoholic beverages, bringing history, cockeyed perspective, and to boldly go where so many fine human beings have already gone before. Tonight is brought to you by Ocean Vodka. Welcome to the Booze Log.
Are they paying us? They brought us. They're bringing us the show. I didn't know we secured this.
It was a corporate takeover.
It's a corporate.
No. Tonight should have said. I don't know why I wrote that. It said tonight's booze is Ocean Vodka.
Because I remember paying for that bottle. But if it was free, I'd be like all day long. We could say that for sure.
Yep.
But So this is. So I just went on a little trip. I went to Hawaii with Erin, and we had a blast. And I will say this, if anybody is interested in traveling, now's the time. COVID travel is the bomb.
Really?
No lines, no hush shit. I mean, it was Boston, Hawaii, straight shot. And there was plenty of room on the plane. And they had consolidated. They were playing games with flights as they usually do because they just wanted to make sure they had people, which I totally understand. But it was straight shot, no lines, and a lot of the touristy things that we did wide open, no problems. Like the road to Hana. I don't know if you've heard of that, but it's the city up on Maui. The town, and really no traffic, and it's like a one-lane road. You have to wait for traffic to go by because you'll fall off the cliff, like one of those roads. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. It was a rental. We didn't care. We were going to roll it right down the hill.
Right.
It doesn't bother me at all. We would get the insurance. But But anyways, yeah, COVID travel's the way to go. So lots to talk about with Hawaii. We've got the Ocean Vodka, which is made in Hawaii. Where is it, Mike? What town is it made in? Before we get into it,
It's made on the beautiful slopes of Haleakala in Maui.
All right, hold that thought. Let's try it.
Okay, let's do it.
You want to try it in its purest form, or do you want to try it in the cocktail form?
Purest form first.
I'd say purest form first.
Let's just have it. We don't have to shoot this, guys. Okay, this isn't Bam Drunkles.
It has been
if you listen to the
before.
last couple of episodes, and it has been. All right, let's have a little sip here. I got to be honest with you, all right? I mean, it smells pretty good.
It's all right.
You know what? It's pretty smooth.
It's smooth compared to a lot of vodka.
A lot of vodka. It's not that bad. I mean,
I don't typically drink vodka straight.
Neither do I. And to be honest with you, vodka is the least exciting booze out there because you got to mix it with something for it to do stuff. Mm-hmm. Unless you're the guy that keeps the bottle under his HVAC truck seat and drinks it throughout the day. I mean, I don't know anybody like that. But
breakfast enhancer.
Kidding. Okay, so I'm gonna have one more.
It warms your belly right up, though, don't it?
Oh, yes, it does. My belly.
Okay, so that's really good. Okay, so Erin made these pineapple cocktails when we were away, and she's going to kill me because I probably did a terrible version of these, but it's real pineapple, and I'll tell you what's in it in a second. But let's sample that as the pineapple.
It looks
cocktail.
rather amazing.
It does look.
I think you did a good job with the garnish.
Thank you, sir.
Cheers. Oh, you're very welcome. Let's try this. Tell me what you think.
Oh.
It's okay. I think I put a lot of booze in there.
Well, you did.
I did because I'm not a bartender. So
it's good though.
I could taste the pineapple for sure. Are you okay, Mike? You're gonna.
I was just checking. Well, I love pineapple. I was going to bite into it, but it was too
There's
hard.
slices over here if you need them.
No.
So.
I like it.
I think I ate the
the
garnish slot out of it.
That's all right. It'll still go on there. Anyways, so these are nothing like the ones Erin made. Erin's were far better. So maybe we can, at some point, talk to her into making us proper ones. Anyways, yeah, very good, wonderful stuff. Hawaii. God, Mike, do you want to talk about the booze for a second, or did you want to?
Yeah, no, we can talk about it. I always like to give a little background to it. It was started in 2004.
Okay.
A gentleman by the name of Shea Smith and his family who grew up in Maui. He was inspired by his parents to create a premium product from Hawaii with the desire of making it available around the world. One of the unique things about this, they actually give tours to this place.
Okay. You'd think that I would have done some research, right. But no, I was too busy laying on the beach getting sand in my butt. Yeah.
They have an 80-acre organic farm. They cultivate more than, this is something that's unique in order to put into the vodka. They cultivate more than 30 species of Polynesian sugarcane.
Wow.
Of course, because of the intense and wonderful sunlight, the beautiful slopes of Haleakala in Maui. Mm-hmm. It has amazing views. They have product sampling. And the thing is that it is very, very popular in Hawaii. And it's been around now for 17 years.
Cool. Think about it. You don't have to import it.
No.
You know what I mean? Like whatever we got kicking around our neck of the woods for booze, you got to fly it over there. But this stuff, like they had Maui beer, they had the Waikiki beer brewery. There were several rums. I should have grabbed a bottle of rum, but I know how Mike gets with the rum. He gets angry.
Does he?
Probably was a bad idea with bringing the rum, so I got vodka.
Oh, that's where he gets bam drunkled.
He gets bam drunkled. Yeah.
You may have to copyright that word.
Bam drunkled? Yeah.
I want a t-shirt.
Bam drunkled? Okay. So, but sugarcane was one of the huge exports of Hawaii. And honestly, there's a little bit of history in there, but that's what got Hawaii in trouble, sort of.
Sugarcane did?
Well, are you done with the booze thing? Can I have a little bit of history here?
Go a little history because we can tie it in. We can talk about vodka in itself. We already did it in a previous podcast, but Go on. I'm going to hear.
So back in the late 1800s, there were a bunch of, or I should say, a few Westerners, from America and maybe a couple of other guys that came to Hawaii, and they started to grow sugarcane there because it's great. I mean, it's a great environment for that sort of thing.
Right.
And what ended up happening?
It's not native.
I think it is native. I think sugarcane's. Again, here's my perfect research brain going through the numbers here, but no, I didn't do any of that. But regardless, sugarcane was a big thing. These business guys came in, and they were, doing a bang up job. But what they ended up, they basically started to take over the country because they wanted more power, they wanted less regulation, and that's ultimately what happened. And I think one of the guys' name, you ready for this? Tell me if this name sounds familiar. Dole. Okay.
I've heard that name.
Yeah, you've heard that name. Dole, like fruits and pineapples. Yeah, he was one of the main conspirators that kind of started to overthrow the government and whatnot. And that was, it became a U.S. territory in 1900. So that was when they, it wasn't quite a state, obviously, but it was a territory. Mm-hmm. And it became a state ultimately in August of 1959. But that was by it was by force to become a territory. So there was a couple boatloads of soldiers that came over and basically walked in and said, yeah, we're taking this country.
That I did not know.
Yeah. And it was, I forget what it was called, the Republic of Hawaii or Hawaii something. But at the same time, so there's a lot of old school rebel forces. Mike, does that ring a bell? Rebel forces, to use that name. I mean, everybody's very, very friendly over there. So I'm not crapping on the Hawaiian people because they were all fantastic. Everybody's great. But there are some old schoolers that are still not anti-American, but they're still really pissed off that we took Hawaii from them. So they're basically, native Hawaiians, kind of like we did here with the Native Americans, But we treated, I believe we treated the Hawaiians a lot better because we're not treating them as trashy as we do the American Indians, which is still obviously very terrible. Mm-hmm. But there are people that are still fighting. Here's a case. Mm-hmm. There's a guy owned a bunch of property and never paid his taxes. The government, the IRS, found him, and he took them to court and said, there's nothing that says I have to pay you taxes. And they go, of course you do. This is the United States. He goes, well, you say it is. Do you get any proof? There was no deed. There was no transaction. There's no paperwork anywhere. And the government and the judge threw it out. He says the Hawaii is not even on paper as America.
Gosh,
I mean, it must be something now. It's crazy, right? Isn't that? And the guy won, and he was like, "Yeah, up your ass, pal."
Wow. So, I'm moving to Hawaii.
Seriously. Ooh. Wow. I got another story about that too. But but because of all that, in 1993, Bill Clinton officially wrote an apology to the state or the territory of Hawaii for what the U.S. did back in the 1900s, early 1900s.
Did he really?
He officiated it, and he acknowledged it, and it was a thing, and it was quite the accomplishment for the Hawaiian people because it's obvious. You know what I mean?
Those were heady days back with Bill Clinton.
Yeah. Oh, Mike.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I see exactly what you did.
By the way, sugarcane is native to Hawaii.
It is. Okay, I figured it was. But it's quite the climate to grow down there, and these guys capitalized on it. I mean, that's what you do, you know? So,
well, you know what about Hawaii? And thanks to some of your research, you were talking about how you're not doing great research. You actually did some wonderful research when it comes to the Hawaiian people or people that were from Hawaii.
Okay.
You listed some really great people. First off, how about Nicole Kidman, the actress,
another one of my favorites.
who used to be married to Tom Cruise.
Yep. Jason
Momoa, who was not only Game of Thrones, but he is Aquaman, not in one, but in 2 movies.
I like that guy.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
He's married to Lenny Kravitz's ex-wife. What's her face from the Cosbys?
Is it
Lisa Bonet?
Yeah, Lisa Bonet. He's married to Lisa Bonet. Imagine that. Pretty cool. And they all hang out together.
Right.
Like Lenny's in town and they all go,
Of course,
because Lenny's one of the greatest too. So.
right.
Lauren Graham from the Gilmore Girls. You had Beth Hamilton, that was the surfer who lost her arm. Of course, we have a lot of historical significance in Hawaii as well. The day that would live in infamy.
Yes. So there's a lot to talk about with that as well. So there are several things that happen. I mean, we could talk about tsunamis. Just drop a little bit of history, like before we get to the big one here is, where is it? Well, they had a tsunami. One of the last ones, the big ones, was 1946. They had another one in 1960, but a real big one that nobody was warned about because it was 1913, and it was either 1913 or 1914. I don't remember. I don't think even the reference knew it for sure, but. At least in the 40s, somebody could throw up a radio signal or something. 1960, you got a better chance of catching it because I believe it was in the early 40s because of the 43 tsunami. They established a warning system for tsunamis, and so by the time the tsunami came in 1960, they were well aware of it at that point. Did you guys see the movie Battleship?
No.
It's going to lead us into the next segment that you were bringing up. But the movie, if you have not seen, first off, it's one of my favorite movies. Okay.
You mean Battleship, the movie based on the game?
Yes.
Okay.
You have to. It's one of my favorite movies.
Okay. I would never thought of even watching it.
I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm going to spoil it. So one of the things that they use. So when you play the game, the Hasbro game, Battleship, how do you do it? Do you remember how you do it?
Yeah, I remember you have a grid.
You get the grid,
and you put the ships on the grid.
Yeah,
and then you call out. You call out the opponent's spot on the grid, like G7 or F. Yeah,
good memory. Yeah,
right. And then they'll tell you whether they got it. And then when you get all 3 pegs in, you sunk my battleship.
So the movie makes direct reference to the tsunami buoys that are scattered all over the waters surrounding Hawaii.
Okay,
I'm going to leave it at that. And they use that, and I tell you, it's next to like Jaws, or it's got to be my favorite movie.
Really?
You got to watch Battleship. It's the greatest.
I will check it out. I'll check it out this weekend.
So good.
I'm intrigued.
It's sci-fi. Rihanna's in it. The singer, Rihanna.
Sold.
And she fires a minigun off of an inflatable boat. I mean, if she could get any hotter.
Right,
I mean,
you should have started with Rihanna gun
with a minigun.
She fires like a minigun, like off of her.
But it's mounted on a turret.
Okay. Oh, you know why I held it like this?
Because of Terminator?
No, because of Fallout 76. The minigun you hold like this, and you. Sorry, any of you gamers out there, Fallout 76.
So during our trip, we went to Maui, and then we went to Honolulu. Okay. Lots to talk about in Honolulu, and I would say the main focus, besides getting away from the Charlie Baker COVID situation here, which is pretty much the same in Hawaii, it's just warmer, was to go to Pearl Harbor. So Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 1941. I'm sure everybody knows what happened. I mean, there's a movie. Movie's really decent about it. We went to the memorial. There's over 1,000 guys still in the boat, in the fuselage below, and what an amazing job they did, maintaining that and respecting it. We were just so fortunate to go and pay our thanks and tribute to those guys, and just to see the work that they do. So it's the U.S. Park Service that runs Pearl Harbor, but because it's surrounded by the Navy, it's an actual Navy personnel transport boat that brings you from the shore to the USS Arizona Memorial. And it was just amazing. Just amazing.
Just to ride on the boat.
Just to go on the boat, and it was real ship, real Navy guys.
Right.
The Swabbies or something. I don't know what you call them, but they were just total gentlemen, and it was a real numbered Navy boat, and they were like in the park range. They're like, yeah, we're pretty badass as park rangers, but don't mess with those guys.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So when you say personnel carrier, is it like, Saving Private Ryan's opening sequence where the thing goes down?
Not
and you
like
come out
that. It was more like it was more of a ferry. But it was all the boat was all business. It was a beefy boat. There was twin diesel somethings, and the guy got on it, and it was like whiplash. I mean, what an amazing ship! I mean, they're all amazing.
So here's a question for you that I don't know.
Yes,
is Pearl Harbor still active as?
It is.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm gonna kind of get back to my my Battleship movie reference.
Okay.
Okay, and they incorporated, because the Battleship, the movie, happened in Hawaii. They filmed it. There was no no buts about it. It was in Hawaii. Not to spoil the movie, but the fleet, a lot of the modern fleet got smoked by this particular thing that was happening. Do you know anything about the movie?
No.
Oh my God! I don't even want to ruin it for you. It's
now I have great interest. At the time, I'm like, another movie based on the game. It's gonna suck.
I just didn't think it was going to be good, so I didn't watch it. It is
my favorite movie, and you're gonna watch it, and you're gonna be like, "Holy shit! This is a great movie."
All right, cool.
So, but anyways, there's a point, and I got to say it because it's part of the memorial thing. So, the USS Missouri is one of the newer battleships, but it's still, obviously aged at this point, and it's still moored right behind the Arizona. So when you're on the memorial, you can see gun turret 3, and if you look closely, you can see underwater. You can see, where 2, 4, and 1's fairly far off, but you can see, and then they put buoys so you can see where the boat is. And if you get if you go online and you get an aerial photo, you can see the whole boat underwater. It's really amazing. It's to the point, when you stand on the memorial and you look into the water, you can still see oil bubbling up from the boat. And I asked one of the rangers, I said, any concerns? And they said, no, they did all the math, all the environmental impacts on what's underwater, and it's way safer to let it slowly do its thing as opposed to try to remove the oil that's there. And let me take a guess how much oil is in that boat still.
Still leaking after 70, 80 years?
80 years. The boat is capable of 1,200,000 gallons of fuel oil.
Oh.
It's capable of, so when it went down, it had 300,000 gallons of fuel oil in it, and they believe it still has 300,000 gallons of fuel oil in it underwater. Think about how much fuel that is.
Right, that's a lot.
It was fully ready to go.
It was ready to go out.
Well, it had a third of its capacity, and then of course, when it got hit, it went straight down. So the very bow of the boat, the ammunition compartment, it took a deep sink bomb, and that's what did it in. So much to talk about with Pearl Harbor, but most of the other boats that were sunk, they rose them back up, patched the holes, and sent them out after the Japs.
Right.
They did, and I mean, they put them back to work. It was crazy. It was crazy. Wow. But as far as Pearl Harbor goes, what the Japanese did, of course, it's war. It's terrible. There's no excusing it. But but it was amazing that they were able to pull it off. It was 4,000 miles undetected till the day they pulled the trigger, literally.
Right.
Nobody knew they were coming.
Right. They didn't have
technology though to know that they were coming, did they?
They didn't know. Nobody knew.
There was radar at that time, was there not?
I think there might have been some. I can't really say for sure. There has to have been some radar, but they didn't see it. They didn't see it. The Japanese fleet was under complete radio silence.
Right.
And they snuck in and they did it. And it's just amazing that they pulled it off. It'll never happen again. That's for shit sure.
Right.
But
something like that only happens once.
Only happens once. Yeah. It was a terrible thing, and so. But that was pretty amazing. So back to the Missouri. Mm-hmm. In the movie, there are 3 ships that. What do you got, Mike? Radar. It
notified them 45 minutes before it happened. It only had a range of 150 miles.
Well, there you go. They flew in from 200 miles away. So at 150 miles, they're like, we got about 200 blips. We don't know what this is. They must have been like, what is this? And
Right,
it was just
they
too
were
late.
questioning what they saw.
Too late
Sure.
to do it anyways. And they hit all of the surrounding airfields, immediately took out the planes. And that was the end of it. And guys, there were guys on deck. There were mechanics throwing wrenches at the planes as they were going by because they were helpless. It was a total decimation. It was just terrible. But there's some really amazing heroic stories of guys that
saved people.
That actually took some planes out. You know, there was a African American guy that was he was like a steward. You know, because they were still segregated back then, but he was one of the only guys as a cook steward. Came to the surface, you know, came out of the boat, of course, saved a bunch of guys, then got a machine gun, and he wasn't really even trained to run one, and he took a plane out with a machine gun, with a 50 cal. Yeah. It's just amazing stories. Some of the stuff that they did. But
the only time I had ever seen, I mean, of course, online now and all of that, but I remember when, I don't know, it was the Brady Bunch went to Hawaii, and they made it like really solemn, which, the whole, and, you know, Mike Brady was talking about a lot of all of this, and the officers, and they were very respectful toward it. And that was the only time I saw it, and I kind of said it, except now you can see it online. Hawaii's on my bucket list.
Dude, go now if you can. It's just the COVIDs are like totally blanketing everything. And watch out for the tiki dolls. Now that you're talking about the Brady Bunch.
the little...
Yeah. Careful of those things.
The tiki stuff.
But in the movie... The last resort that they use, USS Missouri. They pull it out of retirement. Of course, it's Hollywood, but they did. But they got some of the old crew, the old soldiers that are,
the old salts.
And what an amazing movie. You guys go home and watch it.
Everybody watch it this weekend.
I'll look for it.
Yeah, you gotta watch it. It's great. So. All right. Did I get into it enough?
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
That's exact. But I mean, you witnessed it yourself. You know, it's a deep part of American history.
Yeah.
You know, because we didn't get caught down with our back with us. We didn't get caught again until 2001.
Yes. True. Very true.
In that kind of situation.
That was super sneaky. Yeah.
Right,
obviously. So.
It amazes me that even now they don't necessarily celebrate it like they used to. When I was a kid, it was a big deal. December 7th. Was a big deal.
Sure.
They talked about it. We talked about it in school, and it doesn't seem to be as important to. And even 9/11 seems to be fading a little bit too.
Well, there's a lot of stuff potentially.
I know.
Being erased. I don't know. I mean, you got to keep your history to kind of keeps you sharp. But
yes,
I can't say that. I'm not a teacher. I don't know what's going on in school.
Well, at my school, the history stays as accurate as possible. It's not necessarily revisionist. It's not looking at history with a modern eye.
Yeah.
It's looking history as it happened and understanding that what took place. You can't apply modern day morality to what happened in the past. Because when you do, you end up desiring to want to change it. And you have to take it for what it is and what it is at face value. It's messy, it's ugly, but it has to be there. Number one, you don't want to repeat it.
Right.
And number two, you want to understand, the kids got to understand exactly how it was. And then you can understand that things have gotten better historically as we've gone on. So they try to teach it as accurately as possible. They don't, at least where I teach, they don't water it down.
Good.
Which I'm glad of.
I think that's a really important statement you just made. You can't apply modern day morality to history.
Because it wasn't then.
And that explains a lot if you're talking to somebody that wants to remove a statue, for instance, because there's a lot of that going on.
Right.
But I think that statement would be a great way to open up, because it was the morality of the time. And yes, we've evolved since then, but that doesn't mean we can erase what happened. We're not celebrating it with the memorials.
Right. That is a very touchy subject.
It is.
Because of the speculation of what those statues meant the day they put them up. Mm-hmm. It was more of a, oppression thing. And then, not being somebody on the opposite side of whatever the statue may be, a Christopher Columbus statue, I'm not, a Native American, so it doesn't really mean a lot to me until you tell me the stories.
Right.
Then I'm like, wow, was he really that bad? Possibly.
It was a
I don't
completely
know.
different time. And again, like Mike said, the morality of the time was just a completely different mindset.
It was different. It was very brutal. And again, I'm not advocating it, but we have to make sure that we present it through a very clear eye.
Yeah.
And we don't erase it, because if we do erase it, then it could be 100 years down the line, we're going to repeat it.
It could happen.
Absolutely.
Something.
And we don't want to do that. You bring up historical facts about Hawaii, and we talk about vodka. We've got all the stuff going on. I want to make sure that everybody out there knows about some of our stars out there who thought that investing in vodka would be a good idea.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Interesting.
Hold on. Can this be the fail segment?
Yes, this couldn't be the fail segment.
Let's ease into the fail segment, I guess, and we'll use this as an example. But I'm not going to interrupt you, but
No.
But I'm gonna.
Let's have a drink on that then. I like that.
Have a sip of that. And there's another whole bunch of that stuff there. Some of the products you're about to speak of are still out there.
Yes.
And some people enjoy them. I mean, they're
Right.
still functioning, but I don't know. They're no Tito's. Tito's is like slaying it with vodka.
Right.
This Ocean stuff is decent, but it's an import from Hawaii. I don't know how much. I don't even get this in the mainland. I don't know. I've never looked. I should probably check.
Check that out.
The new Hampshire.
Probably part of that research.
Part of the
thing.
research thing. Yeah, I know.
So with some of this stuff, we know that the people who have money like to invest in things. So of course we know there's a big push now to do a lot of tequila, but there's also been vodka. So we have a couple of our stars out there. All of them are familiar names. We had P. Diddy. He invested in Ciroc vodka. We had Channing Tatum, Born and Bred American Vodka. That was the name of his.
Is that the Magic Mike guy?
It's the Magic Mike guy.
Oh boy. Okay.
Then we had Dan Aykroyd, which actually is still a pretty popular vodka, Crystal Head. It comes in
Really?
that. Yeah,
Is that the skull?
Yes.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Sure.
and then we had 50 Cent, my favorite name, Effin' Vodka.
Effing vodka. Hey,
What are you drinking?
give me
Effing
some
vodka.
Give me some effing vodka.
And then the last one was Slovenia vodka. That was Bill Murray. And that actually was, and you understand the individual reviewer will give their own. I'm not going to necessarily say they're good or bad, but these are the people that invested in it. However, we do have one particular individual.
Go ahead, bring it out.
And that actually,
All things considered.
all things considered.
Is there any current information here?
I do have current information. The fact is it's simply not sold anymore.
Okay.
It ceased production. It was none other than Trump Vodka.
Trump vodka.
It was an American vodka, but it was first in the Netherlands, then later in Germany. And the brand was launched in 2005. It ceased production under the Trump name in 2011. However, the reason why it failed is because it never quite met the required threshold for distribution. But it is still sold in Israel, especially around the Jewish holiday of Passover. Now, why that is, I don't know.
So they were distributing irregularities? That's why the Trump vodka failed?
Well, it failed because it didn't require the threshold of distribution. It was probably maybe the taste of it. So they said several, here we go. The Trump vodka name was discontinued in the United States in 2011 due to sales failing to meet the company. So the company threshold requirements are based on sales. Several reasons were attributed to this. One, because Trump himself was a non-drinker. He never drank it.
Okay, makes sense.
As he blamed alcohol for the death of his brother, Fred Trump. It also had problems producing it because the glass used in the bottles and the gold leaf labels were expensive, and the company could not afford to produce them in large numbers. During his campaign for president, Trump did not include Trump vodka amongst his ad sets submitted to the Federal Election Committee. There's actually some lawsuits around it.
Okay.
It was unpaid bills. As a result, I was subject to lawsuits surrounding Trump vodka. A company called Bruni Glass sued for unpaid bills, and as a result, melted in a furnace 500,000 Trump vodka mini bottles ready for shipment.
Wow. Wow.
Donald Trump also sued Drinks America for unpaid royalties, but the case was dismissed for lack of subject matter jurisdiction. I'm thinking we have ourselves our first fail.
That sounds like a fail.
That sounds like a big failure.
What is? Does it say when this is published? That what you just read, the date that it was entered.
The date it was entered. Hold on. Oh yeah, hold on.
I'm just curious when they created this file and all this terrible news.
Oh, look at you. Okay, so the file started back in 2017.
Huh? Imagine that.
And then most recently,
imagine that.
Yeah,
is that the Wikipedia? Oh, well, you know.
Wait. Okay, so wait, let's go back further. There's more. So 2000. Oh,
was
no.
this
Actually,
a fake
back
fail?
in 2006. The oldest was 2006 when they first entered.
Is that the bad news part? 2006?
I think it's just...
That's when it started the page.
Let's see. Yeah, so 2006 started the page. The bad news started being entered. Gosh, as I'm going here, added history. The bad news started being added in 2016.
Imagine that. That's where it all started.
So...
Okay.
But while we're on the subject,
yes,
I would like to thank Delish.com for the next segment, which I thought we needed to talk about, which is 11 things you should know before you drink vodka ever again.
Oh, okay, yeah, Mark, give it a good shake though. Give us.
And I just want to go. I just want to burn through this really quick. Please, yes, thank you, sir.
Since you're up, let me crush this, and we'll move on.
Yeah, let's. Thank you. Mark StJean, our awesome videographer.
Yeah, I can't chug that. Holy shit. I am not a vodka guy.
So, did you know that vodka used to be called gorzalka?
Thank you. Gorzalka?
A derivative of the Polish word gorzek, meaning to burn. But later, the Slavic word for water, voda, and then thus the name vodka. You know, each shot has less than 100 calories.
Okay, makes sense.
It's less likely to give you a hangover than some spirits.
I bet that this ocean is very, very clean. Like I don't know if I'd sit down and drink a bottle, but
no.
Probably. You know what? You know what's going to kill us? Potentially is the sugar
in the pineapple.
In the pineapple. Do you think is that possible?
Well, it doesn't seem to be too sugary to me.
It's not shitty sugar. I mean, it's a very pure.
It's all natural organic.
It's all
sugar.
natural organic sugar.
It's fructose. Fructose is what it is.
What'd you say? This is a family show. Cut it up.
That's where the F in vodka came from.
Right, Effin. Yeah. Right.
All right, as we continue, vodka doesn't have to be made from potatoes. They actually thought it's primarily made from grains. You can find some of the weirdest flavors. How about peanut butter and jelly vodka?
Gross.
Blueberry pancake vodka. And so we also have salted caramel, cake, pickle, chili, bacon, and double chocolate.
Bacon, I'd give it a run. I would
bacon
try
vodka.
bacon.
I'm on that.
Vodka.
I'm on that ship.
Yeah.
You can buy vodka in a box. And vodka is not just for drinking. It can disinfect needles, treat poison ivy, dry out cold sores. And a few drops of vodka will not only help preserve your flowers, but it will freshen your laundry.
Really?
And that's why we drink it.
Really? Laundry, huh?
Hey, Delish.com, they're not playing. They wouldn't put this out there unless it was true.
Well, and what was it originally called?
Gorzalka.
I think I know her.
Get over here. Get over here, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, so that's some pretty cool stuff all about it. But you know what?
Oh, you know what we got to talk about?
What is that?
Is some of the musicians.
Oh, no? Roll it back.
Yeah? Do we have any examples that we can...
Oh, we do. You know what? It's funny that you should bring that up, Mr. Cochran, because I absolutely have a wonderful example.
Because we got a pretty good list.
Yeah, well, here we go. This one probably doesn't need an introduction.
Speaking of the Brady Bunch. He did a guest appearance on the Brady Bunch. And he sang this song, I think.
Did he really?
I think so.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Don Ho!
Don Ho.
He made Marsha all giggly.
Well, I mean, it's Don Ho. It's Don Ho. I'm giggling.
Dude.
I'm giggling right now.
I have to give props to a friend of mine from college.
Yes.
Trumpet player Eric Miyashiro. He used to gig in Don Ho's band when he lived there.
Get out of here!
Yeah.
Really?
Now Eric tours all over Japan and with his big band.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing trumpet player.
Huh? Doesn't Don Ho have a daughter?
Oh, I didn't. I decided to stay away from that.
Oh, okay. What's her name? Hoku? Is that it?
Hoku Ho?
Hoku Ho?
No, I don't know. I don't remember. I remember seeing it, but she was she was fairly attractive. If I do remember seeing a photo. I don't know. I don't know what she sounds like.
Oh, people can look it up.
She's in her 40s now.
She's in her 40s.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Way too old.
That's terrible.
Dude.
That's terrible.
Coming from
Just
never
kidding.
mind.
I know. Coming from.
so we got.
Yeah, we're all 23.
Yeah, exactly.
But so tell us some more about who else is from Hawaii.
Oh man, one of my favorites. Well, there's a couple of them. So, Mark, you'd mentioned you're a Jack Johnson fan.
I am a Jack Johnson fan.
I am as well.
Yeah.
So back in the old Keith Lewis in the shift days, we did a few of the Jack Johnson tunes, and he's
that
great.
That would make sense.
Where is it? Where is he? Jack Johnson. I mean, there's a song in here we used to see if we can find it.
All right, why don't you find it? Because I
This
just
is
thought.
great. Where is it?
He's an acoustic guy, but he's got a real soulful feel to his vocals.
He just makes me want to sit in my yard in a lawn chair or a beach. I mean, that's probably the Hawaiian thing. You know what I mean? Where the hell is that song? Oh, he did Bubble Toes. That was a big. I'm gonna switch it here for a second. Remember this one?
Yes.
This is a great song.
Right.
You know, 2 different time signatures. And what the hell was the other one we used to do?
Yeah, he's got some stuff that's borderline funk. I mean, on the acoustic guitar. You know what I mean?
Yes. I can't find the damn song, Mike. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I do like this one though.
This is a great song.
She loved me forever, I know she could.
The melody over the slower beat of the guitar.
The syncopation.
We used to be just good friends. Wouldn't give me none, but all I wanted was some.
Oh God, I'm looking here. Of course,
I'm gonna dance.
Do it. Oh, that's Bubbly Toes. Oh, did he do Steal My Kisses?
No.
That wasn't him.
No,
that
that's
wasn't him.
Ben Harper, I believe.
That's Ben Harper.
Ben Harper. Right.
All right. Well, you know what? Forget all that stuff I just talked about.
Okay.
No, we
was the
we did do some Jack Johnson, but
Yeah.
that's
Ben
great.
Harper falls into that same category for me, anyways.
Yeah, they're very, 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 very similar. I mean, there's a. Are you guys like a San Diego Chargers fans? Do you know any of those guys? There's a guy, Monte Teo, is a famous football player.
Got a hockey guy?
He's a hockey guy. Yeah. I don't know anything about football.
No, actually,
that's the use the putter thing, right? Yeah,
Right.
Exactly.
So we watched the. I lived in San Diego for a little bit over a year. Watched the Patriots play the San Diego Chargers. Mm-hmm. The Patriots whooped the Chargers so bad that just about everybody left except for the Patriots fans. My ex and I, Karen, we walked all the way down right behind the players. We were like close enough to Belichick, all of them, and they were all like, we were making so much noise. And he said he felt, and in his press conference, he said, I felt like I was back at Gillette.
Yeah, sure. Wow.
So there is another person from.
Oh, this is going to be my favorite.
I'm going to put this song on only because this is the first time I was ever heard Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars. Oh, yeah. We used to do this with Stu.
It's got that Hawaiian feel to it.
It does have that Hawaiian feel.
You know what I did? So I teach music, and one of the things that I did was I I talked about, talked about being at a performance and talked about how intense it can be when you see somebody live. And I played, Bruno Mars opened up the BET Awards 3 years ago.
Okay.
And I played that for the class. And I forget what song they did, but the kids couldn't take their eyes off of him. He was such a showman.
Well, when he dances, he's so smooth. I mean, and he's got his whole band dancing. I love watching him and his band because they're slick as shit. They're smiling.
I think he did the best Super Bowl halftime show.
Yes,
in history. It was amazing.
Even better than Janet's boob.
Better than the boob.
Better than the boob.
The boob was pretty good, though.
I was like, what? Did that just happen?
Right? That's what controversy used to be.
That's where it
used to be a nipple.
That's where it started.
We've really evolved now.
What else you got there, Mike?
Okay. Oh, okay. So yeah, actually, this is what I was talking about.
We get Bette Midler was from Hawaii.
Was she really?
Born in Hawaii. Imagine
Wow.
that, Bette Midler. And she crosses the line. She's actress and
she's
vocalist.
Amazing.
Yeah, Bette Midler's great. Sure.
She does pretty much a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah. What do you got?
I think she could build a house too.
She probably could. She probably could. Oh, is this? This is
the
BET?
opening.
Okay. Oh, the video. Look at that.
No, it's not.
Watch this. This is badass. Check him out.
He's one of the greatest.
Yeah.
Look at him. And he's singing it. He's not fooling around. That's not tracked.
Put some perm on your attitude.
Dude, that's a live band. Listen to it. Listen how clean
that's
that is.
live.
That's a live band.
That's, and I believe the Super Bowl show was live when he
Was it?
when he did
And
it. And most of them do a pre-recorded show.
Check him out. Look at that.
So much respect for this guy because everything is live. Everything's live. Awesome.
No, you don't. Come on, baby.
That's great.
Me.
That's great. Yeah, Bruno Mars, man.
I wonder how much video we can use on YouTube of that.
Let's try it and see how long it takes to get shut off.
Right?
You know? What do we get to lose? Seriously.
Oh, man, we're giving them free press here.
They're going to come take this pineapple? Come on. That's about all we got.
We're going to take a pineapple. No, you won't.
No, you're not.
Here. Holy Toledo.
Hey, you know what it's time for?
What time is it, man?
Check it out.
That sucker.
And the safety tip of the week is brought to you by Bamboozled.boston. Always remember, try not to engage in hand-to-hand combat while doing shots of any kind. I promise you will thank us later. Always drink responsibly. Do not drink and drive. Please seek help if you find alcohol is your only way to get through the day. You can find helpful links on our website at Bamboozled.boston.
Tell that to Jackie Chan and what was the drunken Fido with him?
All right.
Him and what's his face with the flat nose?
Chris Tucker?
No. The guy from Christ.
The guy with the flat
Was that
nose?
the Drunken Master?
That was the drunken master.
Yeah.
He had to be drunk to fight.
Right.
I love Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan's awesome.
Yeah, he's another great. He's a funny prick too. That guy.
We gotta find out what he
even
drank.
his bad movies I
We're
like.
gonna find out what he drank, and I'm not gonna stereotype him to
Know what he
sake.
drinks. He's currently
Still
drinking.
alive. Yeah, yeah. Jackie Chan. Anyways,
That was the safety tip of the day.
that's the safety tip of the day. Yeah. So definitely don't drink all day.
You know what you didn't mention, and I'm guessing it's because nobody could pronounce his name, is the guy from Hawaii who sings somewhere over the rainbow.
Yeah.
I think he deserves a mention. I mean, he really took that song back.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to
Yes.
find it, and then I'm going to see if you can pronounce it.
I cannot. I tried.
Okay.
I tried last night.
Try that.
It's a very long name.
All right, so I'm going to find that right now. There we go.
I call him the guy who
so
did
it's-
Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Because I can say it.
Well, I can see his first name was Israel, so we'll just take it from
Why?
there.
Did you think it was fake?
Izzy.
Oh, sorry. Yes. If you play a Hawaiian playlist on Spotify or any of the, this is the first
will
one that
be
comes
on it,
up.
Right.
He's a big guy, huh?
He is a big guy.
Great rendition.
Really.
Oh. You know, one of the things I've noticed about Hawaiian music, because when you, for instance, when you're on the plane, they play Hawaiian music.
Oh,
Like you
really?
get going with a video to it. Here he goes. Some of the falsetto singing that they do, guys like this. I mean, this is the biggest guy I've ever seen. Nothing against it. I mean,
He's just a big guy.
Just
You
a big
expect
guy.
a deep voice.
and him and a couple of the other ones that I saw, their falsetto, they'd be like, "Whoa!" I mean, you'd think that it was a female voice, but it was the
Right.
one guy. Just amazing, the talent that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
My God.
So there we go.
Isn't there isn't that shot of that video, Mark, in that app that you can put your face on? Have you seen that? What's that app that
Oh,
you use?
I'm so doing it. Reface, yeah.
Reface.
That's a fun app.
I have a couple of friends.
I think I did it actually, yeah.
I have a couple of friends that actually did that,
I have,
which was.
I have a friend that constantly does it with him and his wife.
But did that guy,
Oh, dude.
and it was Pat Badger from Extreme. He goes,
Oh,
that's
really?
it. He
Yeah.
goes, that's it. I'm just gonna, and he texted us all the video,
Nice.
and it's you know how good of a job the app does,
Right.
and it's hysterical. It looks just like him.
Yeah, I think I did it, as a matter of fact, and I posted it, but yeah. You know, one other artist, if I could throw
Yes,
this at
please-
you guys.
Please do.
The Presidents of the United States of America.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
Do you remember that band?
I do.
They
Tiny-
played with just a couple of strings on their guitars.
Millions of
and-
Peaches, right?
Yeah.
Is that them guys?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
They were great.
They did Tiki God, which was about the Brady Bunch episode.
I love it. Love it.
Amazing song, amazing band.
And they were from Hawaii.
They were probably not from Hawaii, but their song was about Hawaii.
Okay, well, I'll give you that.
I mean, when you're talking about a Tiki God, you're thinking Hawaii, right? Who's not?
I'll give you that. A couple of television references, and I
Yeah.
forgot to mention this. Hawaii 5-0. Mm-hmm. And that's where the term came, 5-0.
Book 'em, Dano.
Hickham's 5-0. A book 'em, Dano.
Right.
And that was 1968 to 1980.
I used to watch reruns of that show every
And guess
day.
what? It came back.
It came
was
back.
on for another 10 years.
Yeah.
It still is, isn't it?
It was
Are
a
they
good
still
it was
doing
a
it?
good remake.
Man, the remake was excellent. And James Caan's son was Dano.
Oh.
Oh, that's really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
James- I
Was
don't-
it?
Nice.
Is that the one with LL Cool J?
No.
No.
What the hell am I talking about? No, that's not SWAT.
That's not SWAT.
That's the other one.
It's-
NCIS?
NCIS.
Yeah.
All right,
There we
forget
go.
it. Forget all that shit.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna make shit up as I go.
I've tried to watch the MacGyver remake, and I don't think it's as good
So,
as the old
it's terrible.
one.
One of the
Terrible.
coolest things I saw in Hawaii, because you had to go to Honolulu to see it, of course. Everybody remembers Magnum PI.
Right.
One of my favorite Hawaiian. I was a big Tom Selleck fan. The Ferrari. He carried the 1911, 45. It was just very classy show. TC. Here we go. There it is. Hawaii 5-0.
Best drum fills
Seriously,
ever.
Mike. It's got horns in it.
Oh, heck yeah. This may have been one of the songs that got me into wanting to play a horn.
Really? I believe it.
I used to play air drums in my living room.
Oh, this is the new one, right?
Grace Park was in this for a couple of years. She was amazing.
Yeah, the original theme's way better for drummers.
Yeah. So that's a remake of the original theme.
Yeah, the original theme has all drums in
All
it.
right. Well, you know what? We're going to bring that up right now.
Here we go.
Here we go. What?
Wow. Did you play is this the intro, the song, everything?
Can I have some popcorn?
I didn't mean to.
I don't even. Those are
I can
big,
taste hot
those are
buttered
really big
popcorn
drums
right now.
Mike, did you play it like the movie or something? That's like I'm waiting for a lion to show up on the thing. Seriously, 20th Century Fox. There it is. Oh yeah, listen to that. It's a whole step
Hear
higher.
the organ it?
Wait till the drum fell.
Jack Lord.
Jack Lord, yeah. Modulation.
Oh, there's a little bit of hula dance in there.
Sometimes the original is the best.
I think this is better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ready?
Where is it?
Oh, I thought it was right there.
One more verse. Okay. James Gregory.
We fat.
Oh, look at it. They carried 38s back then. I love it. I don't know if you're gonna get it, Mark. I think they're gonna skip out.
Here it comes. Oh. I wonder what I'm remembering that was so much better.
All right.
It's like
Play again. What a great composition.
Oh,
yeah.
What an amazing. Who wrote that? Do you know?
I don't, but let's
find out because that was amazing. I mean, and when they did the what do they call it? Release of the second
remake. Yeah.
remake. They used the same song. I mean, you got to use that song. That song is etched in stone.
yeah.
So a guy named Morton Stevens wrote it.
Martin.
Morton Stevens.
Okay.
He's an American film composer, and he best known for composing the theme music for Hawaii Five-0. He won 2 Emmy Awards in 70 and 74.
Wow.
And he was taught by Oscar-winning composer Jerry Goldsmith, who wrote the movie theme song for Star Trek that was used in Next Generation.
Oh, really?
That's weird.
No
kidding.
Oh, great. I really sang that very poorly, but
No, that was great. Your intonation was perfect.
as it always is.
So I was going to say, Magnum PI. You could take helicopter rides in Hawaii, and they were painted. They were the same chopper. God, I can't remember the brand, the model of the chopper, but the same one that TC used to fly back in the original Magnum PI, and it was called Magnum Choppers.
You're wondering how I could be so sure the combination was the phone number.
Is that Tom Selleck?
Yes.
Wouldn't do that to me.
There it is. There's that old Ferrari.
Hey.
Ooh, there you go. Don't eat the yellow snow in Hawaii. Is that what that said? Is this the...
That's not the theme song.
That's not the theme song.
What the...
That's not the theme song.
Oh.
There it is. There it is.
That's the one, you know.
Oh.
Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of. I don't know.
What a great song.
Who wrote this?
I can see Tom Selleck smiling in his...
of course.
Mike Post, who also wrote the theme to Hill Street Blues.
Mike Post, you can hear... Man, I love just following the composers. If you look at some of the stuff these guys did, it's just...
Right.
It's amazing. Mike Post. There you go. You're gonna pull up the.
Wow.
There's a
The
shitload of them.
A-Team, NYPD Blue, the Rockford Fires, Quantum Leap, LA Law, Magnum PI, and Hill Street Blues.
I see Renegade in there.
Renegade. Law and Order, Law and Order, and Law and
No
Order.
shit.
Yeah.
Mike Post. That guy, he doesn't get paid much.
Right?
When you're watching TV 38 at 3 o'clock in the morning, he gets a nickel out of that.
Right?
Every time you hear that.
He gets a nickel every time you click on it.
What's the extended version? All right. Well, wow. We've covered some ground tonight.
We have. I think this was great.
Oh man, this was a great one.
We still have some cocktail. We'll have to wrap some of that up as we go. So what do you say, guys?
Good show.
Let's do it. It's a great show.
You get volume there, Mike?
Gotta love Hawaii, even if you've never been there.
Right. Well, it's
I've
not too
never
late.
been there.
It's not too late. All right, listen, I want to say thank you to you guys for being here.
Hey, I was glad to be here.
Yeah,
you for
that's
having me.
fantastic. And thank you to all of our Bamboozled.boston podcast listeners. Remember, please tell your friends to seek us out at their favorite podcast platform. Ask them to subscribe, of course, and give Bamboozled.boston a 5. That's not a 4, that's not a 3. A 5-star rating. I'm assuming that everybody listening now already has given us a 5-star rating, but if not, please go back and do so. We'd really appreciate that. Also, visit our website, wow, that was 4 W's, www.bamboozled.boston to connect with our socials, because we've got, Instagrams?
We have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have Facebook.
What's that? I feel like Johnny Lawrence from Cobra Kai.
Hashtag hash brown.
Hash browns. We got hash browns. We got all that.
We got lots of hash browns.
So yeah, there's an email address there. You can jump in on our socials, blah blah blah. Give us feedback and any suggestions. And the biggest thing, this is something new we're going to try. Please give us or send us your favorite and or especially original cocktail recipes for us
Yes.
to
Nice.
possibly feature. I think that would be a blast. If you guys know of any other boozes we could jump on, please just let us know and we'll do our best to find that. That'd be great.
You know what? Before
Yes.
you finish,
Yes.
I want to make sure we give props to all our listeners in India.
Yes.
Amen.
We're talking a huge listener base out there, and we're going to, in the future, feature liquors from India.
Yeah, let's figure out some of that stuff. Please, guys, chime in and let us know what you can suggest. But anyways, hey, from all of us here at Bamboozled.boston, please safely keep your glass bottoms up, and we will see you next week. Cheers, guys. Adios.
I'm empty, but you know what I mean.
Like, I'm empty, but you know what I mean.